Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm Candace Hester.
And I'm Danielle Harris. Coming up, we'll update you on Georgia's Immigration Compliance Act.
And we have the latest on a tax break for working families. News 11 starts now.
Debate is ongoing over Senator Chip Rogers' Georgia Security and Immigration Compliance Act. The bill attempts to crack down on illegal immigrants and those who employ them. The bill will probably undergo several changes between now and the committee vote. Provisions include denying certain benefits to any adult who cannot show evidence of legal status in the United States, forbidding employers from claiming illegal immigrants' wages as a tax write-off, prohibiting governments from awarding contracts to companies that hire illegal immigrants, establishing state penalties for human trafficking, and requiring local law enforcement officers to tell federal immigration officials when they arrest illegal immigrants.
Governor Sonny Perdue has announced a $147 million road project. The road project will interchange at Interstate 85 and Georgia 316. The road project will repair 11 existing bridges and create 2 new bridges over I-85 to help alleviate traffic flow. Also, the road project includes 17.5 new miles of HOV lanes on I-85 and 316. The project is scheduled for completion at the end of 2008.
The Georgia House and Senate have voted unanimously to grant a tax break for working families who need child care. Governor Perdue said that child care is a critical need for many families in Georgia and that assisting parents is a practical step the government can take to create conditions for economic prosperity while improving the safety and well-being of young people. The bill will return approximately $50 million to working parents with children.
The Georgia Department of Revenue will take on the responsibility of issuing and renewing parking placards for disabled persons starting March 1st. Each county will have at least one location designated specifically for obtaining the placards instead of having them available at the Department of Driver Services. To obtain a placard, a person must submit a motor vehicle form which has been signed and notarized by a Georgia practitioner of the healing arts, as well as a valid driver's license or some other form of official identification. The department and county tag agents do not charge a fee for any of the disabled persons parking placards.
Governor Sonny Perdue has sworn in 32 Georgians to serve on the Workforce Investment Board. This board is part of Perdue's plan to better educate the workforce to compete for high-growth jobs. The board will work with a steering council of high-ranking officials from 10 state agencies to help this program move forward. Perdue's mission is to strengthen and grow Georgians' workforce. As News 11 reported last week, Mayor John Freddy has been appointed to this committee.
Mary Perdue, wife of Governor Sonny Perdue, visited Valdosta yesterday to talk about child advocacy awareness. News 11's Joy McCullough has more.
On Tuesday, Valdosta welcomed a very special guest to speak on an issue that affects us all. First Lady of Georgia, Mary Perdue, was welcomed by several organizations, including Morningside Baptist Church and Prevent Child Abuse Lowndes County, to speak on children's issues in Georgia, a community-based response. Sandra Wilcher of the Advisory Council said that much preparation was needed to bring Miss Perdue to Valdosta.
Well, we're really excited that we're hosting Mary Perdue. It's a joint effort between Morningside Baptist Church and Prevent Child Abuse Lowndes County. She is coming to Valdosta to promote awareness of child abuse issues, prevention of child abuse, and the need for foster care programs in Georgia. She should be arriving any minute. We're going to listen to her speak about her Our Children's campaign, and we have about 250 professionals and citizens from the Lowndes County area that will be joining us in a few minutes.
Also in attendance was Mayor of Valdosta, John Freddy, who was compelled by the cause of child abuse and mentoring.
And I'm here today not only because Mary Perdue is here speaking on children's issues, but I'm also doing the closing and the thanking of all the sponsors, and particularly Mary Perdue for her involvement in children's issues. And that ranges from early infant adoption to child abuse and up to mentoring, which I think mentoring is pretty special to my heart because it's the easiest thing that any one of us can offer a child.
Ms. Perdue has big plans for Georgia and hopes to further advocate for children's rights and well-being. She utilized a video entitled The 11th Commandment to add a face to the nameless children throughout the state that suffer from abuse.
And I'm here to talk about the Our Children campaign, which is my initiative to get communities involved specifically with children in foster care all across the state. This is an effort to an outreach to our business communities, our faith-based communities, and also the civic groups, showing them how they can get involved and also making them aware of what the needs are across the state.
The impact the First Lady had on the crowd was both heartfelt and visible and will continue to resonate in their minds. For News 11, I'm Joy McCullough.
The State Coastal Marshland Protection Committee did not adequately review a permit for construction of 2 large marinas to be part of a development across the marsh from federally protected Cumberland Island. An administrative judge says the committee must review a completed biological assessment of the Cumberland Harbor development on protected species. The panel also must consider the impact that the entire development will have on the marshland, not just the part built in the marsh. The permit issued last March allowed construction of 3 community day docks on Point Peter Creek and 2 full-service public marinas on the St. Mary's and North Rivers near St. Mary's, Georgia. That's just across the Florida line. The Georgia law clearly requires the Marshland Committee to consider the impact of the entire project on the marsh, including stormwater runoff.
Citizens of Valdosta may pay more each month for stormwater prevention. The City of Valdosta held a meeting last night informing the public of the stormwater utility ordinance that would call for residents to pay a user fee of around $2 to $4 a month. The Environmental Protection Agency is mandating new requirements for the city to improve the current stormwater system. Stormwater maintenance is presently underfunded, and the city has been paying for the services with money from the water and sewer customers, taken away from the needs for the water and sewer system. The utility fee will be used for the stormwater maintenance and operation, as well as to inspect and test the water in our streams, to locate and stop the source of pollution, and to educate the public about activities to protect and improve our environment. Councilmen will vote on the ordinance at the March 9th meeting. Coming up, we'll tell you about an auction right here in Valdosta.
And Rod Brazil will join us with information on university events. Stay with us.
Songbirds we enjoy each summer, winter in the rainforests. Orioles, terns, tanagers, and countless others fly to our yards each spring. An amazing gift of nature. Right now, many are losing their homes. With the destruction of the rainforests, migrating flocks have been cut in half. The time to act is now. From the cloud forests of El Triunfo to the lush Amazon, the Arbor Day Foundation's Rainforest Rescue is making a difference. You can help protect the rainforests. Go to arborday.org, see how to support Rainforest Rescue, and find out which trees to plant where you live, so our songbirds have a home in the summer and the winter too. Over half our planet's rainforests have been destroyed. Go to arborday.org now.
Governor Sonny Perdue has proclaimed this week of February Severe Weather Awareness Week. The week-long campaign climaxed this morning with a statewide severe weather drill. Although Valdosta and Lowndes County emergency management officials held a county-wide weather drills, VSU decided against actively participating in the drills because of class interference.
An auction featuring 13 properties near VSU will happen this weekend. The auction features 9 houses, a 7-unit apartment building, a shop on Ashley Street, a retail strip complex on William Street, and a commercial parking lot on St. Augustine Road. The auction is great for VSU students and their parents, staff, and faculty, as well as investors. The properties can be bid on individually. Auctioneers can bid on any number of properties. The auction will take place at 10 a.m. on Saturday at the American Legion Post 13 on William Street.
The City of Valdosta, Southeastern Records Management, and other several community organizations are hosting an electronic recycling event on Saturday, March 11th. People are encouraged to recycle their old electronic items like computer monitors and modems, VCRs, cell phones, televisions, and microwaves. This event is a way to help keep Valdosta clean and help protect the environment from toxins that can infiltrate groundwater waterways, and sediment from outdated electronics.
The 10th Annual African American Lecture Series has brought numerous speakers from around the nation and around the world. VSU has treated to the one-act play, The Soul of Langston. News 11's Mark McDonald has more.
VSU rolled out the red carpet for Darren Stewart's Soul of Langston, the second of 3 lectures of VSU's 10th Annual African American Lecture Series. Stewart plays the role of poet Langston Hughes and tells Hughes' life story through his one-act play. The play chronicles the early writings of Hughes and his influence on American literature.
As far as this show, Soul of Langston, I think Langston kind of encompasses all of America. You know, again, he wasn't just a black poet for the people, he was a poet in general.
The theme of this year's lecture series has been the African American male telling his story. Dr. Shirley Hardin, director of the African American Studies Department, has been very pleased with the turnout for this lecture series.
We are hoping that the entire Southwest Georgia region will just show up and show out.
For News 11, this is Mark McDonald.
The final installment of this year's series will be the Boys Choir of Tallahassee on February 25th in Whitehead Auditorium.
The VSU College of Education will soon bear the names of James L. and Dorothy H. Dewar. This transition was prompted by a $2 million donation from the Dewar family and Park Avenue Bank. Dr. Philip Gunter, who serves as the Dean of the College of Education, says that the funds from this gift will finance research activities, scholarships, and other educational endeavors that have been planned by the College of Education. The James L. and Dorothy H. Dewar College of Education will be official when the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia approves it.
Do you know what your animal is? 2006 is the year of the dog, according to the Chinese New Year calendar. News 11's Antoine Thomas went to the VSU Chinese New Year celebration to find out about all of the festivities.
The Aftermath starts off their year by celebrating the Chinese New Year. Event coordinator Shell Willis tells us about her group.
We're actually holding the Chinese New Year event as an Anime Aftermath tradition. Our anime club has held a Chinese New Year party almost every year.
Normally celebrated on the first full moon of the year, the Chinese New Year lasts for 15 days. Co-coordinator Darcy Robbins gives us more information.
Celebration usually lasts about 15 days until the next full moon. And it is Year of the Dog, and with the Year of the Dog, each year is different. And even though it is 2006, it's the Chinese New Year of 4,703.
Those born during the Year of the Dog are considered to be loyal, honest, and trustworthy. This is Antoine Thomas reporting from News 11.
In medical news, a federal advisory panel in Atlanta recommends all infants in the U.S. get vaccinated against the potentially fatal rotavirus. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, this common virus among infants and children is the leading cause of diarrhea, which leads to nearly 55,000 children being hospitalized each year. Other symptoms include fever, vomiting, and abdominal pain. Rotavirus is a winter seasonal virus with most of the outbreaks occurring from November to April. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices voting unanimously that children should receive a 3-series shot before they reach 6 months old. The recommendations will not become policy until they are implemented by the CDC.
Looking at weather, it's going to be cool and rainy for the remainder of the week, so pack an umbrella. Tonight's low is 60. Tomorrow jumps up to 70 for the high, but dips down to 53 for the low with a chance of evening showers, while Friday has a high of 57, a low of 50, and light rainfall all day long. As for pollen, levels continue to rise and are in the medium-high range, with most levels stemming from alder, cedar, juniper, and oak.
Rod Brazil joins us in a moment with upcoming events at VSU. Stay with us.
Dee Dee, don't do this.
Walter, there's something calling me out there. I have to go find it.
Every weekend, millions of middle-aged adults head out the door to take on a new sport. Or pick up where they left off in a sport they haven't played in years. This is a good thing, but there could be a downside. New physical activities bring new stresses to bones, muscles, and joints. A good reason to take new sports one step at a time, with plenty of stretching and warming up. And remember, weekend warriors are flirting with danger. Your body does a better job avoiding injuries with a sensible fitness program you follow every day. Fitness is good, but exercise common sense. A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who remind you to get up, get out, and get moving.
I'm back.
Olé.
Rob Brazil joins us now with university events.
Thanks, Danielle. VSU's Harley-Langdale Junior College of Business Administration will host the first ever Best Practice in Teaching seminar this Friday. The seminar's theme is Understanding and Serving Students' Needs, and it will consist of 7 presentations taught by the College of Business Administration faculty. The seminar will last from 2:30 until 4:30 p.m. inside Pound Hall, room 202. Anyone can attend. The Office of African American Studies is celebrating Black History Month at VSU, along with the Tallahassee Boys Choir. The group will perform at VSU as part of the 2006 African American Lecture Series. The performance will take place at 5 p.m. on Saturday in Whitehead Auditorium, located in the Fine Arts Building. This event is free and open to the public. For more information, contact the Office of African American Studies. Dr. Harvey Lillywhite of the University of Florida will deliver a speech tomorrow in the Biology Chemistry Auditorium. The speech is entitled Ecology of Birds and Snakes on Gulf Coast Islands and is scheduled to start at 4 p.m. This event is free and open to the public. For more information, contact Dr. David Beckler at the VSU Science Department. And that's what's coming up on campus.
Thanks, Rod, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Danielle Harris.
And I'm Candace Hester. We'll see you next week.
Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm David Champion.
And I'm Brian Starling. Coming up, we'll update you on the tragic death of a VSU student.
And we'll have the latest on the Georgia immigration bill.
And I'm Sam Out. Coming up, we'll tell you more about properties being auctioned around VSU. News 11 starts now.
VSU students are mourning the loss of 23-year-old Deborah Lee Walker. Walker was killed early Monday morning when the car she was driving crashed into a ditch. The accident killed her and her passenger, 26-year-old Scott Craven. The Georgia State Patrol received the call about the accident at 5:50 Monday morning. Craven was in the military and stationed at Moody Air Force Base. Walker was planning to graduate from VSU in May with a degree in communications.
Under a bill that cleared the Georgia Senate, a child who commits murder could be locked up until the age of 21. The bill, also known as Amy's Law, passed with a 45-0 vote. Senator Bill Hamrick of Carrollton introduced the bill because of the strangulation of 8-year-old Amy Yates in 2004. Under existing law, children younger than 13 who murder face a maximum of 2 years in confinement. The 12-year-old boy charged with Amy's death is serving the remainder of his 2-year sentence in a psychiatric treatment center. The bill now moves to the House for consideration.
Atlanta may become home to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Governor Sonny Perdue and Atlanta Mayor Shirley Franklin made a plea last week to NASCAR Chief Executive Officer Brian France. They asked France to construct a NASCAR Hall of Fame near Centennial Olympic Park. This week, state lawmakers plan to introduce a series of new bills to build up more money behind Atlanta's $92 million bid. These bid relies on a combination of public dollars, bank loans, and corporate support. Other cities in the race are Daytona Beach, Florida, and Charlotte, North Carolina. The decision on which city will win the bid will be this month.
Our economy should be coming back strong following a slight downfall in 2005. A survey done by the National Association for Business Economics suggests that the economy will grow by 4.5% by the end of March. A stronger economy means that interest rates may increase. In fact, the Federal Reserve is likely to increase the rates 2 more times before the summer. The survey shows that retail prices may also rise by 3%. The bad news is that the housing market may slow down and that energy prices will increase. The good news, however, is that more jobs will become available as the unemployment rate drops to 4.8%.
Georgia high school students who want to join extracurricular organizations such as the Gay Straight Alliance will now have to get parental permission under a new measure approved yesterday by the Senate. Some critics have charged the legislation as an attempt to squash support clubs for gay and lesbian students. Senator Nancy Schaefer of Turner-Mile proposed the measure. It mandates that schools obtain written permission for each student who joins a club.
The House could vote this week on a constitutional amendment aimed at suppressing rising property taxes. Under the proposal, property taxes would be capped at 3% each year, or the rate of inflation, whichever is least. The property would be excluded from the cap if it is sold, significantly renovated, or if new construction additions were made. The amendment unanimously passed the House committee yesterday, but still must get a 2/3 vote from each chamber and be approved by a majority of Georgia voters before becoming law.
After weeks of heated debate, the bill cracking down on illegal immigrants and the companies that hire them moved one step closer to a vote in the state Senate. The Senate committee, considering the plan, voted 6-2 to recommend it be passed by the full Senate. The bill requires jailers to verify the people they arrest are in the country legally. It also sets up human trafficking penalties that mirror federal law and toughens penalties for people who sell false documents to legal immigrants.
Coming up, we'll tell you about a possible Delta Airlines strike.
And Jamal Ferguson joins us with community events. Stay tuned.
Dee Dee, don't do this.
Walter, there's something calling me out there. I have to go find it.
Every weekend, millions of middle-aged adults head out the door to take on a new sport or pick up where they left off in a sport they haven't played in years. This is a good thing, but there could be a downside. New physical activities bring new stresses to bones, muscles, and joints. A good reason to take new sports one step at a time, with plenty of stretching and warming up. And remember, weekend warriors are flirting with danger. Your body does a better job avoiding injuries with a sensible fitness program you follow every day. Fitness is good, but exercise common sense. A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who remind you to get up, get out, and get moving.
I'm back.
Olé.
Georgia House lawmakers vote to merge this year's back-to-school sales tax holiday with a bid to give homeowners a tax break on energy-efficient items. If approved by the Senate, the combined sales tax holiday would last from August 3rd to August 6th. The back-to-school sales tax holiday gives shoppers a tax break on school supplies, and the energy holiday gives tax breaks on energy-efficient products that cost less than $1,500. These products include air conditioners, refrigerators, and other devices that have met energy-efficient standards. The tax holiday is estimated to have an $11 million impact on the state.
For the third time in 16 months, Georgia-based Delta Airlines and its pilots union go at it again. If the two sides do not agree to a long-term deal on pay cuts and other concessions, by today the issue goes to an outside panel of arbitrators. This panel will decide whether to void the pilots' contracts and allow Delta to impose its own terms. If the panel voids the contract, Delta could impose more than $300 million in concessions, including up to a 19% pay cut. If no deal is reached today, the panel is scheduled to begin 2 weeks of hearings in Washington on March 13th.
Walk fast or get hit. That seems to be the motto of many VSU students who try to cross Patterson Street in front of campus. So in order to help students and faculty cross safer and more quickly, there's a new proposal to place a signal at the intersection of Patterson and Brookwood Place. A portion of Brookwood Place is closed in order to get ready for installing the signal, but many students say they are continually delayed and often late for classes when crossing Patterson. Others say they try to avoid crossing in front of campus at all. Hopefully, the proposed signal will be helpful for all of those who dodge flying cars every day. The City Council will meet on April 18th to discuss plans for the signal.
Do you want a second chance at winning $1 million? Well, enter the Rush to Win second chance drawing, and April 15th could be your day. If you have purchased any non-winning $300 million Gold Rush tickets from any lottery retailer, you may have a second chance. The Georgia Lottery Prize Patrol is on its way to Valdosta to collect the tickets and enter them into the Rush to Win second chance drawing. The Prize Patrol will also give players a chance to win additional prizes. The prize patrol will be at Eminent Food on 900 Melody Lane between 11 and 2 this Friday.
A housing auction for 13 properties took place at the American Legion Post on Saturday. News 11's Sam Mount has more.
Approximately 250 people gathered at the American Legion Post 13 for a rare auction of both commercial and residential tracts located near VSU and in northwest Valdosta.
We had investors, developers. We had what we call occupant users, people that want to buy and live in the properties themselves. And we also had parents of VSU students here trying to buy properties for their children. And it created a real strong competitive bid situation, and the properties got bid up to a very good price. The seller was very pleased.
The seller of all 13 properties was investor Nathan Brown. Brown will receive over $2.1 million of the total $2.3 million in contract bids. The remaining $200,000 goes to professional auctioneers, which mandated a 10% buyer's premium of the actual bid price.
Primarily location, which they say in real estate, and also the quality of the properties and the repair of the properties. All the properties were in very good condition, and they were all rented. That were rental properties, and they were prime properties for this market.
The properties were first bid on individually, and then people could bid on any combination of properties, including all the properties together. The largest combination bid was over $1 million for a commercial property on North Ashley, a retail complex on Williams, and a 7-townhouse apartment complex. 10 people signed contracts on 13 properties, and both buyers and the seller left satisfied with the results. Auctions represent the competitive nature of American capitalism. This auction featured 13 properties around VSU that changed ownership within a matter of hours. From the American Legion Post 13, I'm Sam Mount for News 11.
The Florida-based grocer Winn-Dixie will sell or close 3 more Georgia stores. These 3 stores are located in Cairo, Cordele, and Tifton. Winn-Dixie, which is now in bankruptcy protection, will also sell or close 32 other stores nationwide. These closings are part of the company's ongoing reorganization. The 81-year-old company will, however, continue to operate 550 stores. Company managers hope to emerge from Chapter 11 bankruptcy this summer.
Looking at weather, temperatures are rising as we head into March. Tonight's low will be 58, but tomorrow's will be partly sunny with a high of 82. The low will dip down to 58, and Friday's high jumps back up to 77 with a low of 50 and a 20% chance of rain. As the temperatures rise, pollen levels rise. As you can see, levels are in the high range throughout the week, with most pollen stemming from alder, cedar, juniper, and elm.
Jamal Ferguson joins us in just a moment with a look at university events.
Stay with us.
Immerse yourself in another culture and another way of life. Experience everything life has to offer you. Embark on your own course of adventure as part of a summer study program in London, Paris, Italy, or Russia. Studying abroad is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The memories and friendships gained will be a life-changing experience. Savor the moments and culture. Discover the world around you. Be part of a summer study program in London, Paris, Italy, or Russia. For more information about summer study programs abroad, please contact the Center for International Programs at 333-7410.
Jamal Ferguson joins us now with university events.
Thanks, Brian. The spring semester is halfway over as VSU students prepare to register for summer and fall classes. So the time has come for VSU students to meet with their academic advisors. Advisors' dates vary among departments, but registration begins on March 20th for both summer and fall semesters. Graduates and seniors get top priority on the first day of registration, with juniors, sophomores, and freshmen signing up for classes afterwards. The final day to withdraw from a current class is tomorrow. The VSU Access Office is pleased to welcome back to campus the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind dance troupe. They will perform on Thursday, March 9th in the UC Magnolia Room from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Admission is free and open to the public. For more information, contact the Access Office. And the VSU Department of Adult and Career Education will host its 13th annual Gulf South Adult and Career Education Conference on Friday, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Education Center. The conference will provide valuable tools for career and technical educators, mostly middle and secondary educators from Lowndes County and the surrounding counties. The conference will cover areas including trade and industry, business, education, agriculture, family and consumer science, health occupations, marketing, and technical education. The $50 registration fee can be paid on-site or online and includes breakfast and lunch. For more information, contact Cindy Partner in the Education Department. And that's all we have coming up on campus.
Thanks, Jamal, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Brian Starling.
And I'm David Champion. We'll see you next week.
Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm Rod Brazil.
And I'm Heather McLeod. Coming up, we'll tell you about the merger between Bell South and AT&T.
And also, we'll tell you about concerns running through the Lowndes County School Board. News 11 starts now.
Atlanta-based Bell South announced it will merge with AT&T and ultimately purge 10,000 jobs. Both companies hold shares in cell phone giant Singular. The $67 million merger will bring all three companies under the same AT&T name. This merger reunifies most of the regional Bell South phone companies that were split after the antitrust lawsuit against AT&T in 1984.
Atlanta has come up short in its efforts to grab a major tourist attraction. Monday, NASCAR's top officials, including CEO Brian France, announced that Charlotte, North Carolina, will be the new home to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Atlanta and the birthplace of NASCAR, Daytona Beach, Florida, were among the cities bidding for the race shrine. Charlotte beat Atlanta's $102 million taxpayer-funded bid for the Hall of Fame. The hall is scheduled to break ground in 2007 and open in about 4 years.
Georgia takes one more step to help strengthen small businesses. Governor Sonny Perdue has signed an executive order that allows Georgia's small businesses to move through the state's intricate regulations with a little more ease. The reform requires state agencies to assign a small business liaison and create ways to better their effectiveness. These liaisons will make recommendations to relieve owners of trouble created by confusing rules. Small businesses make up 95% of all businesses in the state. Perdue says that the state government can better serve the needs of small businesses.
Georgia voters in Cobb, Bibb, and Camden counties have the first chance to electronically view their vote from their cast ballot. The voters will be able to view a paper copy of their ballot at the voting booth and verify whether it's correct. With the new electronic voting, voters could then make corrections before the vote is processed. The bill making this possible passed unanimously and is limited for testing purposes only. The new electronic machine that prints the results hopes to make voters feel more confident and change efforts immediately.
In a bid to make businesses responsible for complying with an immigration law, Senate Democrats propose steep fines for employers who fail to verify workers' identification. 100 investigators will also enforce the new immigration policy. Those who back the bill hope the plan can be tacked onto a Republican-sponsored immigration bill pending in the Senate. The proposal takes aim at businesses that flout Georgia law by accepting falsified documents from illegal aliens. Companies that employ more than 20 workers could be penalized nearly $13,000 per worker and per violation. That fine would double on the second offense.
A Valdosta child, in hopes of finding a prize in the bottom of her cereal box, found a razor instead. Last week, Priscilla Adams called the Valdosta Police Department and reported that her daughter found a small blade in the bottom of her Kellogg's Frosted Flakes when looking for a prize. The blade was at the bottom of the box, not in the plastic bag that holds the cereal. Responding to the incident, Harvey's Supermarket on Norman Drive pulled Kellogg's Frosted Flakes off of its shelves. It is not yet known if the blade accidentally ended up in the box during packing or if it was intentionally placed there. A spokesperson from Kellogg said they haven't had similar complaints. This leads investigators to believe that this is an isolated incident. Investigators from the Kellogg Company are working in conjunction with the Valdosta Police Department. Coming up, we'll tell you more about traffic around Valdosta.
And David Champion will join us with the university events. Stay with us.
And welcome back to Make a Date. And Stacy, your next question, please.
Bachelor number 1, as my financial advisor, how would you advise me to structure my investment portfolio?
Bearing in mind my cautious nature, I would say invest in government bonds, money markets, and CD accounts.
Bachelor number 2.
Baby, you got to be in the game if you want to make some money. I'd say at your age to invest fully in high-yield stocks, and that's no bull.
And bachelor number 3.
Well, actually, diversifying your investments is always a good idea. It will make your overall portfolio more balanced, and it can minimize your risks.
Okay, there you go. Now it's time for you to make a date. Who's it going to be? Bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, or bachelor number 3?
It's got to be bachelor number 3.
Bachelor number 3.
Remember to make a date today to diversify your portfolio and choose to save.
Members of the Lowndes County Board of Education are worried about pending state legislation that could affect the school system. The first legislative item of concern is Senate Bill 0390, the Classrooms First for Georgia's Act. The bill would require local schools to spend at least 65% of their total operating expenses on the classroom, beginning in 2008. These classroom expenses include field trips, music, art, and athletics. The second legislative bill of concern is the Student Health and Fitness Act. This bill requires that elementary students complete 150 minutes of physical activity every week. It also requires middle school students to complete 225 minutes of physical activity weekly. The bill has already passed the House and now awaits the Senate vote.
Valdosta Gets Cultures as the Asian Cultural Association celebrates its 3rd annual Asian Cultural Experience. Taking place last weekend, the event featured exhibits on Asian countries and customs. The ACA presented different ceremonies to give visitors a glimpse of Asian life. Some of them included a tea ceremony and a traditional Asian wedding. There were also cooking, toy making, origami, and a martial arts workshop. The celebration concluded Sunday with a multicultural dance competition.
Valdosta police are on the lookout for 2 gunmen who robbed a local restaurant. Yesterday morning, 2 men robbed the Huddle House on St. Augustine Road. One of the men was allegedly armed with a handgun. The restaurant only had a few customers during the time of the robbery when the men helped themselves to the register, taking an undisclosed amount of money. The robbers escaped on foot and no one was hurt. According to eyewitnesses, both robbers were black males wearing scarves over their faces. Anyone with any information of the crime is urged to call the Valdosta Police Department.
Valdosta businesses celebrate senior life while senior citizens receive free medical checkups. The Senior Citizen Center will host the 4th annual health fair next Wednesday from 10 to 1 p.m. at the Senior Citizen Center. The fair invites local businesses to exhibit their services for health care, fitness, and nutrition. Nearly 30 businesses will attend the health fair, including companies such as Southwest Georgia Medical Center, Senior Advantage, and Lifeline Screening. The fair will offer free checkups on bone density, glucose levels, and blood pressure, and hearing admission is free. But you must be 50 or older in order to receive free services.
The warmer weather is getting VSU students in the mood for spring break. It starts this weekend. News 11's Kara Johnson has more.
The countdown to spring break is finally here, and VSU students are already having fun in the sun. Thanks to the great weather, students have been able to enjoy their free afternoons playing sports or hanging out by the pool. As for students' plans for spring break, many will be vacationing near the beach.
I think we're going to go to Miami just for a day or so. South Beach, enjoy the evening, a nice dinner. And then we're going to actually fly to Cancun from there, and actually that's when we'll do the partying.
My parents have a house in Florida, in south of Daytona.
just plan on going down there and chilling out, not doing anything. School's not an option, so a lot of beer and frozen pizzas.
I'm gonna go down to Universal Studios, and I've never been there, so I'm really excited. And then I'm gonna go up to Atlanta and go to the Georgia Aquarium for a day, and then we're gonna go to St. Patrick's Day in Savannah.
To prepare for spring break, many students have been saving money, tanning, and getting into shape. For News 11, I'm Kara Johnson.
Most students vacation in Daytona, Panama City, or Miami for spring break, but one group of students are trading in bathing suits and maps of Florida for parkas and sheet music. Brian Starling tells us more about VSU's premier choral group, the Chamber Singers, and their upcoming trip to Krakow, Poland.
VSU music professors Dr. David Lee Johnson and Alicia Usarik-Topper have been planning a trip for VSU's premier choral group, the Chamber Singers, to Krakow, Poland.
And she and I talked about this over a year ago, about the possibility of taking a trip there. And then we got an invitation from the Academy of Music in Krakow, from their president.
The Chamber Singers will be gone for 7 days during spring break and will perform music that spans years and genres, including sacred music sung in Latin, native Brazilian folk songs, and Negro spirituals, in 3 concert venues around Krakow. The Chamber Singers have been preparing since fall of 2005. They are very excited about the trip and anticipate a good response from the international community.
I think they'll almost appreciate it more because we worked so hard for them, and it's all basically sacred music, and we'll be in churches and everything, and it'll be really exciting to be there.
This trip will be Dr. Johnson's swan song. After 12 years at VSU, as the Director of Choral Studies and vocal instructor, he'll be retiring. What a way to go. After watching the VSU choir practice today, I feel they're prepared to represent VSU well overseas. For News 11, this is Brian Starling.
Get your kicks in 2006. That's this year's Azalea Festival theme. The 6th annual Azalea Festival will be held this weekend in Drexel Park. The festival will begin at 8 a.m. on Saturday with a 5K road race, a 1-mile walk run, and a bike ride. Arts and crafts, food vendors, and live music will be available throughout the weekend, as will an international village. Also, the festival will showcase performances by the Fearless Flores Circus and Thrill Show free of charge. New to the festival this year will be a lawnmower parade featuring uniquely dressed lawnmowers. For more information, go to the Azalea Festival website.
Inner Perimeter Road changed this week to State Route 7 and U.S. Route 41. This is part of a plan to help route state traffic on larger, higher capacity roads. Part of this plan includes removing state route status from parts of Bemis Road, Park Avenue, and Madison Highway. City Engineer Von Shipman says opening Inner Perimeter to state traffic will give truckers additional options through town, which may reduce downtown trucker traffic.
Looking at weather as spring approaches, the temperatures continue to rise. Today the high is 73, while the low is 46. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 80 and a low of 59. On Friday, the temperature jumps up to 84 and will be as low as 58 with a 30% chance of rain. The average for the weekend looks to be at a high of 83 with sunny skies. As for the pollen levels, they remain high with pollen stemming from cedar, alder, and juniper.
David Champions joins us in just a moment with events coming up at VSU.
Stay with us.
I am the port in the storm.
United States Coast Guard.
Heed your country's call. Join the Coast Guard or Coast Guard Reserve, the shield of freedom.
David Champion joins us now with University Events.
Thanks, Heather. The VSU Access Office is pleased to welcome back to campus the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind Deaf Dance Troupe. They'll perform tomorrow in the UC Magnolia Room from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Admission is free and open to the public. For more information, contact the VSU Access Office. In community news, this Saturday from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., the city is hosting an electronic recycling collection. This event is being held by the City of Valdosta and Southeastern Records Management. This collection day will let you get rid of old electronics in a proper and efficient way so as not to harm the environment in potentially hazardous landfills. The collection will take place at the Southeastern Records Management Facility at 2300 Madison Highway. Objects that will be collected will include TVs, microwaves, typewriters, and computer monitors. For more information, contact Southeastern Records Management. In addition to most of the construction seen around Valdosta, the city's engineering department has a new proposal. Coming up on March 14th, a public comment meeting will be held at the City Hall Annex in order for the community to voice their opinions on a proposal that will turn Ashley Street and Patterson Street into opposing one-way roads. The City of Valdosta is encouraging community input, and in addition to the March 14th meeting, 2 others will be held in April and May. For more information, contact the City of Valdosta's engineering department. And that's what's coming up around campus.
Thanks, David. And thank you for joining us today. I'm Heather McLeod.
And I'm Rob Brazil. Have a good week.
Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm Sam Mount.
And I'm Allison Phillips. Coming up, we'll update you on new job opportunities for Georgians.
And we'll tell you about lethal household products. News 11 starts now.
Governor Sonny Perdue announced that Kia Motors Corporation will build an automotive plant in West Point, Georgia. The plant will establish more than 2,800 jobs for Georgians and generate a $1.2 billion investment in the state. The business deal with Kia President and CEO E.S. Chung includes a commitment from 5 supplier companies to construct operations in Georgia, bringing in an additional 2,600 jobs. The plan is scheduled to begin testing operations by May 2008 and go into full production by 2009.
2 people have been arrested for allegedly creating a bloody scene in Cumming, Georgia. A call to 911 tipped off police to armed invaders inside a private residence, shooting those inside. When people arrived, 2 people were found dead. Ryan Young has more.
The body count's high. 3 dead, 4 others wounded, rushed to the hospital. Altogether, 7 people shot.
7 shooting victims in one crime scene. That is a very brutal, very vicious.
According to a 911 operator, a call from this house at 510 Access Road, just off the Ronald Reagan Parkway in Forsyth County, seemed desperate.
Apparently our complainant called while there was an assault going on inside the house. So there were people inside the house, there were shots being fired. At that point, the 911 operator lost verbal contact with the person, but could still hear the open line and with gunshots in the background.
Forsyth Sheriff said 3 men made their way through this house, shooting those inside one by one, while some in this house hid, but the gunmen made their way around the 2-story house, shooting those inside.
Crime scene investigation is just beginning, and it is a very, very complicated crime scene.
Sheriff Ted Paxton says his narcotic unit is on scene and have been here before, while survivors are talking with detectives who are right now trying to pin down the motives for the killings and brutal attacks.
I think we're dealing with some very dangerous people, there's no doubt. There's no doubt, given the carnage and the death that they left behind here, we're dealing with some very, very dangerous people.
Governor Sonny Perdue and members of the One Georgia Authority Board have approved regulations for financing program that will bring high-speed broadband access to rural Georgia. At a meeting in Louisville, Georgia, the Broadband Rural Initiative to Develop Georgia's Economy, or Bridge Fund, will provide grants for publicly owned infrastructure based on the numbers of rural counties receiving new or enhanced broadband services. The grant will provide a minimum of $200,000 for county projects.
Your electric bill may go up again as Georgia Power looks to recover higher costs. The company is asking the State Public Service Commission for nearly a $550 million increase. This increase would raise the average residential electric bill by around $7. The price hike has helped to pay for the increased costs of coal, natural gas, and nuclear materials. All of those are used to produce electricity. The Public Service Commission has 90 days to decide on the increase. If approved, the increase would be the second big fuel charge hike for Georgia Power customers in a year.
Georgia's Sonny Perdue and the state's Georgia Environmental Protection Division are lifting the moratorium on new farm use water permits in the Flint River Basin region. The Flint River Basin Regional Water Development and Conservation Plan is based on recommendations of a stakeholder advisory committee and technical findings of several science studies. Perdue says the plan will manage the water resources while meeting the irrigation water needs of farmers.
Georgia Insurance Commissioner John W. Oxendine announced that the Ty Cobb Memorial Hospital in Rouston, Georgia has joined the Georgia Telemedicine Program, which is part of Oxendine's Rural Health Initiative. 36 health facilities will eventually participate in the statewide program, which will provide access to specialty health care such as behavioral health, cardiology, dermatology, internal medicine, neurology, pediatrics, and psychiatry for all Georgia residents. The Georgia Telemedicine Program will be one of the most comprehensive and integrated statewide networks in the country. Coming up, we'll tell you about household inhalants.
And Joy McCullough will join us with information on university events. Stay with us.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
In these turbulent times, let us not erode our liberties, for they make America a beacon of hope for all to see.
Let it shine.
A new report examines drug use among teens, including the use of inhalants. Even everyday aerosol products are being used as drugs. Dina Mowalski takes a look at household products being used by teenagers as forms of dangerous inhalants.
A new report by the National Survey on Drug Use and Health says 500,000 young people ages 12 to 17 started using inhalants in the past year, nearly 2 million in the past 3 years. Young people like Kyle Williams. Kyle had just celebrated his 14th birthday. A boy who loved computers, says his father, Cleveland police officer Jeff Williams. His wife is a nurse. The family dog, a police drug canine.
I thought no drugs could get into my house. I soon found out that every house has drugs all throughout them.
The drugs in his house, everyday aerosol products. Jeff Williams was on patrol when his police dispatch radioed him.
The sheriff's department was en route to my house. That there was a child not breathing. He was dead. He had a straw in his mouth and a can of computer duster between his legs.
According to the report, most teen inhalant abusers are from white, middle or upper class families. Half are female, but all have easy access to cheap, legal drugs. Among the most commonly abused inhalants, glue, shoe polish, gasoline, and spray paints. Items that may look harmless, but easily can lead to tragic consequences.
I didn't realize how serious it was and how messed up it made me and how messed up it made so many other people. I didn't realize that you could die off of your first hit.
In fact, the chemicals in household inhalants can cause a number of serious side effects, including seizures, asphyxiation, comas, heart failure, and brain damage. And since the high caused by the inhalants is short-lived, many teen abusers use the chemicals over and over again, unaware of the increasing damage they're doing. It's estimated that more than 100 kids die every year from using inhalants, so manufacturers are putting labels on some of their products warning that abusing them can kill, hoping that teens like Kyle will heed that warning before it's too late. For CNN Student News, I'm Deanna Morosky.
The Best Buddies Club of Valdosta is raising money for the Children's Miracle Network at Shands Children's Hospital. The organization is hosting Downtown Get Down on April 1st. The Jukebox Band provide live music, and the Best Buddies will sponsor a barbecue dinner. Door prizes will include a strand of cultured pearls with matching bracelet and earrings valued at $1,100. Tickets for the event will be available as long as supplies last.
Colonial Mall, Valdosta's Belk department store, is gearing up for Belk Charity Days. On March 31st and April 1st, Belk department stores across the nation will raise money for local charities and nonprofit organizations. Community groups that participate in the event will sell tickets before the shopping event, and for each ticket sold in advance, the organization will receive $5. In addition, Belk customers who shop during the Charity Days event will receive at least a 10% discount in return for a $5 donation to charity or nonprofit organization.
Governor Sonny Perdue commended Valdosta Lowndes County for becoming the first recipient of a $10,000 grant from the Entrepreneur-Friendly Implementation Fund. This grant will work with other local and private investments to continue to fund the sowing entrepreneurial economic development, success, or seeds. One condition that Valdosta has to abide by is that they have to support small businesses as well as marketing services to surrounding rural counties free of charge.
In medical news, U.S. Surgeon General Richard Carmona will address the first International Congress on Physical Activity and Public Health in Peachtree City, Georgia on April 17th. The Congress commemorates the 10th anniversary of the landmark U.S. Surgeon General's Report on Physical Activity and Health, which was the most comprehensive report on U.S. physical activity and fitness.
Looking at weather for the first day of spring, tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 64. Tomorrow we'll get into the spirit of spring with spring showers throughout the day and a high of 82 and a low of 47. Wednesday will be cooler with a high of 70 and a low of 42, but it will be sunny. Turning to pollen, levels continue to rise and are in the high range, and most pollen stemming from oak, cedar, juniper, and birch. Joy McCullough joins us in just a moment with events coming to VSU.
Stay with us.
Okay, people, listen up. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven terrain, barring any injuries, is 4 miles per hour. That's a 6-mile radius. I want checkpoints established at I-95, 495, and over at Route 66. What I need from each and every one of you is a full target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area. Your fugitive has just cashed in his 401k plan, and all he had to do was roll it over. Go get him!
Learn about rollovers and protecting your financial future, and choose to save.
You can't mess with the big dog.
Joy McCullough joins us now with university events.
Thanks, Allison. The Learning and Retirement Program offered through VSU's Department of Continuing Education continues to prove that learning never stops. On Thursday, the program providing non-educational credit opportunities for cultural growth, lifelong learning, and recreation for individuals 50 years of age and older will celebrate its 10th birthday bash at the Regional Center for Continuing Education at 11 a.m. This week, VSU's annual giving unit will launch the 1906 Society. This group's membership will primarily consist of graduating seniors and graduate students who have chosen to make a gift to the VSU Foundation while still a VSU student. Students will be asked to make a gift of at least $19.06 in celebration of Valdosta State's founding year. Students have the opportunity to designate their gift to the college or division of their choice and have the opportunity to honor a specific person. For more information, contact Lynn Sauerwein-Capice of the Annual Giving and Advancement Research. Need to know the do's and don'ts of selling your product or service on eBay? Why not allow the VSU Small Business Development Center to answer all of your questions with its eBay seminars? Basics of Selling on eBay seminar will be held tomorrow and Beyond the Basics of eBay seminar on Wednesday. Both seminars are scheduled from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at Valdosta State's Thaxton Hall. Space is limited, so you're encouraged to enroll immediately. For prices and pre-registration, contact the VSU Small Business Development Center. And today marks the first day of summer and fall registration for VSU students. The registration window opened for graduates and seniors at 9 this morning. Juniors begin at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and sophomores and freshmen become eligible Wednesday and Thursday, respectively.
Thanks, Joy. And thanks for joining us today. I'm Allison Phillips.
And I'm Sam Mount. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm Mark McDonald.
And I'm Kara Johnson. Coming up, we'll update you on Bibles in Georgia's public high schools.
And we'll tell you about Georgia's soldiers returning home from Iraq. News 11 starts now.
The Constitution mandates a separation of church and state, and many people have strived to take the Bible out of public high schools. Now, Georgia has plans to bring it back in. Senate Bill 79 was passed and adopted this week, giving the option of a Bible elective course in Georgia's public high schools. The elective course will be offered in hopes of teaching high schoolers about aspects of art, literature, and history through the Old and New Testaments of the Bible. Many senators have wanted to return the Bible to schools, saying that kids need to be educated on the impact the Bible has had on the world. The course will not be a required class for students.
Georgia's Governor Sonny Perdue and United States Attorney General Alberto Gonzales held a town meeting to discuss the rise of methamphetamine production and use in Georgia. Various federal and state law enforcement agents, prosecutors, drug rehabilitation specialists attended the meeting held at Reinhardt College. Perdue delegated over $1 million in his budget proposal for the creation of a 15-agent meth task force for the GBI, and another $1 million in his 2007 budget proposal for meth abuse treatment and rehabilitation.
Governor Perdue has also initiated the 3rd annual National Agricultural Awareness Week. The event recognizes the benefits of agriculture and the contributions of agricultural-based businesses in the state. The week-long event kicked off yesterday at the Georgia Freight Depot, where over 60 agricultural-based materials and organizations featured food, products, and information. Agriculture is Georgia's most prominent industry and is the primary source for jobs and income.
This week marks the 3-year anniversary of the war in Iraq, and families of the soldiers from the 48th Infantry Brigade in Fort Stewart are celebrating the return of their loved ones after a year-long deployment. Donna Logan has more.
1 year, it can seem like such a long time. These families know that all too well.
Felix Blas is coming home.
Monday morning around 5:30 a.m., the wait was over for Felix Blas's family and the loved ones of more than 100 members of the 48th Brigade. Waving flags and a roar of emotion welcomed the returning heroes. The only thing keeping them apart, a brief ceremony in their honor. Minutes later, families rushed the field, and moments, a year in the making, took over the grounds of Fort Stewart.
Is it a surprise? Yeah!
Staff Sergeant Felix Blas took his two boys in his arms, both a year older and bigger than when he left.
I'm just excited to be home. That's just it, to see my kids.
Flying home, Felix looked forward to three things: his wife and kids. But he got a surprise. 15 family members from Tampa and Puerto Rico, armed with hugs and kisses and posters and t-shirts with his face on them. He couldn't ask for anything more.
Just to feel the love. That's it.
All around the grounds, tears and smiles. Sergeant Mark Hollingsworth, surrounded by his mom and 3 children, was too choked up to talk. His wife Kelly had his back.
It's a happy time. It's great.
Okay.
Just happy to see him home.
100 home, 4,000 more to go for the 48th Brigade.
Hopefully we'll have them soon so they can meet their families also.
On Fort Stewart, Don Lagana.
But right now it's just joyful to be back home.
WTOC News.
Georgia Republican Senator Saxby Chambliss co-authored and introduced the Dignity of Military Funerals bill, which will prevent protesters from disrupting funerals of American soldiers. If passed, the bill would restrict protest 1 hour before, during, and after funerals, and protesters must be at least 300 feet away from the service. The bill states that violators will face felony charges and, if convicted, will serve 1 to 5 years in prison. Chambliss is a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee.
Secretary of State Kathy Cox wants all Louisiana residents who evacuated to Georgia after Hurricane Katrina to register for the Louisiana state elections. Displaced Louisiana residents can vote in state and local elections, including Orleans Parish, if they are not registered to vote in a current residency state. They may vote by absentee ballot or in person in Louisiana. The state elections are scheduled for April 22nd and May 20th.
Former U.S. Representative Denise Majette, who lost her bid for the U.S. Senate in 2004, says she is running for state school superintendent. Majette said Georgia's students continue to rank among the worst in the nation when it comes to test scores. Majette said more Georgia's children need to be served by Head Start, but she was short on other specifics, including her opinion of Governor Perdue's education initiatives that have been moving through the state legislature this session. Majette said she would lay out more specifics about her agenda in the coming weeks.
Coming up, we'll tell you more about the retirement of Valdosta Technical College's president.
And Jamal Ferguson joins us with VSU's community events. Stay with us.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
For more advice on how kids can build strong bones, visit AAOS.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
A former Florida school teacher will avoid jail time in one of the 2 counties where she was accused of having sex with a minor. Andy Fleck has more.
25-year-old Deborah Lee Walker, a former school teacher, had been accused of having sex with a 14-year-old middle school student. Now the charges have been dropped, and she says she's sorry.
I pray with all my heart that the young man and his family will be able to move on with their lives. Again, I offer my deepest apology.
Prosecutors dropped the charges because the judge rejected a plea deal since it contained no prison time. The plea deal was meant to spare the boy from having to testify, something his mother wanted to avoid. LaFave says she has bipolar disorder and that her illness had a lot to do with her actions.
It's not easy feeling the guilt and the remorse and having my own family suffer for my actions.
Her attorney says if the case had gone to trial, several psychiatrists would have made a compelling argument on behalf of LaFave.
Mental illness is not the fault of someone who suffers from it. No one wants to be mentally ill or have an illness.
At the news conference, LaFave was asked how it felt to be vilified by some in the media.
I believe that my family know who I am, and right now my family and my friends are all that matter.
I'm Andy Flick reporting from Atlanta.
Pepsi's Gatorade division filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court this week against Coca Cola's Powerade unit to stop an ad campaign that it claimed it was false and deceptive. A new television ad for Coke's Powerade Option sports drink features a race between two farmers in Amish dress and horse-drawn carts loaded with hay bales, one with 10 bales and the other one with 50. The ad shows the cart with fewer bales easily cruising to victory and says that Powerade Option has 10 calories per 8-ounce serving compared to Gatorade's 50 calories. The suit claims that Coca-Cola is telling consumers that Powerade Option fewer calories literally makes you go faster. The suit wants a permanent injunction to bar Coke from running the ads.
After 30 years of service to the city of Valdosta and its community, Valdosta Technical College President James Bridge will be retiring. Bridges announced his retirement earlier this week. Faculty say he will be remembered for his many contributions to Valtech. Although Bridges is retiring, he hopes to stay involved with Valtech and its mission to build a stronger community. Bridges will end his tenure as president of Valdosta Tech on May 31st.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, Georgia has the sixth highest number of reported tuberculosis cases in the U.S. TB is a respiratory disease that primarily attacks the lungs and is spread through an infected person's cough or sneeze. With over 2 million TB-related deaths a year, the disease is the second leading cause of infectious death worldwide. This Friday is World TB Day. The focus of the day is to increase awareness in hopes of eliminating the spread of the disease.
As spring approaches, many health advisors suggest people wear more sunscreen. But what about a dog wearing sunscreen? The Valdosta Fire Department recently adopted Monty the dog. Last year, Monty was set on fire after teenagers poured gasoline on him. Monty is considered a special needs dog, and the burns will not allow his fur to grow back. Sunscreen and shelter will keep him from sunburn as he travels because the fire department plans to use Monty for fire safety education and to tell of his survival story with victims at burn camps.
Looking at the weather, tonight will be mostly clear with a low of 50. Tomorrow we'll have afternoon spring showers with a high of 66 and a low of 40. Friday we'll have a high of 67 and a low of 38, but it will be sunny. Turning to pollen, levels continue to rise and are in the high range with mostly pollen stemming from oak, cedar, juniper, and birch.
Jamal Ferguson joins us in just a moment with a look at upcoming events at VSU.
Stay with us.
Jamal Ferguson joins us now with university events.
Thanks, Kara. The Learning in Retirement program offered through VSU's Department of Continuing Education continues to prove that learning never stops. Tomorrow, the program provides non-credit educational opportunities for cultural growth, lifelong learning, and recreation for individuals 50 years of age and older. Will celebrate its 10th birthday bash at the Regional Center for Continuing Education, 903 North Patterson Street at 11 a.m. This week's VSU Annual Giving Unit will launch the 1906 Society. This group's membership will primarily consist of graduating seniors and graduate students who have chosen to make a gift to the VSU Foundation while still a VSU student. The students will be asked to make a gift of at least $19.06 in celebration of the Valdosta State's founding year. Students have the opportunity to designate their gift to the college or a division of the choice and have the opportunity to honor a specific person. For more information, contact Lynn Sourwine Capice of Annual Giving and Advancement Research. The VSU Bookstore is holding a third-day event that gives VSU graduating seniors the chance to purchase supplies for spring commencement. The spring graduate final will be tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The grad final allows you to purchase caps and gowns, rings, pictures, and photographs will be taken to take the graduation studio shot. A proof of your picture will be sent to other graduation photos. A Johnson representative will also attend to sell other graduation memorabilia. And that's all we have for coming up this week on VSU campus, Kara.
Thanks, Jamal, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Kara Johnson.
And I'm Mark McDonald. We'll see you on Monday.
Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm Mindy Mitchell.
And I'm Danielle Harris. Coming up, we'll update you on railroad construction in Valdosta.
And we'll tell you about a missing Atlanta toddler. News 11 starts now.
Today, CSX Transportation will start work on several railroad crossings across Valdosta. Several railroad crossings will be closed due to traffic during the construction process. Blanchard and Thomas Street railroad crossings will be closed until Wednesday. The railroad tracks at Perkins Lane will also close that street through Wednesday. Work scheduled for crossings at Forsyth and Troop Streets has been postponed. People are urged to use alternate routes, but there will be traffic control to minimize inconvenience. For more information, contact the City Engineering Department.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has activated Levi's Call. Levi's Call is the equivalent to an Amber Alert. Jackham Elijah Leach was last seen at a Georgia Walmart store in the Atlanta area. The boy was reportedly abducted by Frederick Sherrod Dunn shortly before 6 p.m. on March 25th. The child is believed to be in extreme danger.
The Georgia Department of Labor says the unemployment rate rose 1/10 since January to 5.1%. However, it still remains lower than this time last year. Georgia added more than 23,000 jobs in January and February and has gained more than 88,000 jobs over the past 12 months. Most of the new jobs are in service-related industries.
Legislation concerning illegal immigrants is a hot issue at the State House this week. Immigrant communities took part in a work stoppage Friday to protest a bill passed by the Georgia House. The bill would deny state services to adults living in the U.S. illegally and impose a 5% surcharge on wire transfers from illegals. Supporters argue the plan is a vital homeland security measure. Opponents say it unfairly targets workers who are merely responding to the demands of some of Georgia's largest industries.
Class sizes in Georgia schools may soon become smaller. Governor Sonny Perdue's truth in class size legislation underwent its final passage in the Senate on Friday. The legislation will reduce the maximum class size requirements for elementary and middle schools. Perdue says smaller class sizes give teachers more time with individual students and helps them maintain order in the classroom. The governor says student test scores should go up as a result. The legislation passed the House on March 2nd.
Atlanta Mayor Shirley Franklin plans to fight poverty as she travels to South Africa and Lesotho. Franklin will meet with the Food Security Project, which provides food for unfortunate children and orphans. CARE, the Atlanta-based poverty-fighting organization, has plans for April 10th through the 14th to visit projects that focus on helping women provide a better future for their families. The mayor recently completed an I Am Powerful campaign, which offers U.S. women the chance to help other women in poor countries. 75% of the 1.2 billion people in poverty are women.
Coming up, we'll tell you about new construction on Interstate 75.
And Heather Harris will join us with information on university events. Stay with us.
Someday, I'll be a ballerina, just like them. And this will be my stage, where I twirl and float and swirl for all the people looking at me. Someday, this won't just be my wish. Someday, I won't be sick.
More road work is on tap for I-75 north of Valdosta. The interchange at exit 39 in Adel is scheduled to be raised to comply with the minimum vertical clearance standards set for the interstate system. This is part of 5 remaining projects scheduled for construction over the next 2 years from the Georgia Department of Transportation.
State Agriculture Commissioner Tommy Irving warns those with almond or nut allergies to be wary of some Belgian milk chocolate bars sold at Sam's Clubs and Walmart stores. The bars may contain almonds that are not listed on the label. The 7-ounce Sam's Choice Belgian milk chocolate bars are wrapped in purple paper and display a Best Buy marker of December 20th, 2006. Brock's Confection Incorporated has voluntarily recalled the bar. People who have an allergy or severe sensitivity to almonds run the risk of serious or life-threatening allergic reactions if they consume this product.
And more news from the Georgia Agriculture Commission. Commissioner Tommy Irving says he supports a bill that would permit individuals to sell up to $2,000 a year of homemade food products directly to the public. The bill would allow persons the opportunity to sell non-potentially hazardous food prepared in home kitchens. The food must be labeled homemade and have the name and contact information of the preparer. House Bill 1380 was approved by the Senate Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee and now goes to the full Senate for approval.
Those of you looking forward to fresh Vidalia onions for your backyard barbecues don't have to wait much longer. This year's crop of Vidalia onions will be shipped out starting April 17th. There are hopes that this year's crop will be as productive as last year's. The Vidalia onion crop was worth $65 million in 2005.
Valdosta Chief of Police Frank Simons will receive this year's Lois W. Turner Outstanding Public Official Award. The award recognizes Simons' dedication and distinguished public service career. Simons will be honored tomorrow with a luncheon here at VSU from 11:30 to 1. The luncheon will take place in the University Center Magnolia Room. Several VSU students will be recognized at the luncheon as well.
Looking at the weather, March seems to be going out like a lamb. Tonight's low is 42, with tomorrow looking to be partly cloudy with a high of 77 and a low of 50. Wednesday remains partly cloudy but warms up a bit more with a high of 81 and a low of 52. Moving on to pollen, levels remain high throughout the week with most pollen stemming from oak, elm, and alder.
Heather Harris joins us in just a moment with a look at university events.
Stay with us.
Mornings are the toughest. Sometimes you gotta cover 3 states in 4 days. Not easy.
Right, and it's over there. You're gonna get that from him.
We are in the studio with Valerie from Groove Lily. Tell me, how long have you guys been out on the road promoting this album?
We're pretty much always on the road. It kind of never stops. We are relentless road warriors. Out and back, out and back. Come on, guys, let's do it. Jean, how's it going over there? I'm basically the leader of our band. I'm in many ways the driving force behind our career. The fact that I've decided to go for my music career and succeed or die trying is, I think, a function of the confidence that I got from being in the military.
The qualities you take with you from time spent in the military are qualities that stay with you forever. Today's military.
Heather Harris joins us now with University Events.
Thanks, Danielle. Hello, everyone. In VSU News, the Counseling Center will offer 2 spring midterm seminars this week. Tomorrow afternoon, Sheila Wakely will present the Overcoming Speech Anxiety Seminar in the University Center from 4 to 5. Wednesday afternoon, Dr. Laura Hoffman will present a Study and Test-Taking Skills seminar from 4 to 5 as well. These seminars are free of charge to students, faculty, and staff members. The Women's Studies program, in partnership with the Southeastern Women's Studies Association, will present the 10th Annual Women's Studies Conference this Thursday through Saturday. Keynote speakers include best-selling authors Jennifer Baumgardner and Amy Richards. Also, VSU's writer-in-residence Janice Doherty and Simona Hill will present readings. These events will take place at the University Center. Off-campus activities include a coffee house session at Julio's Restaurant and a jazz cookout at the Snake Nation Press. Students, faculty, and staff are welcome to attend free of charge. For more information about the event schedule, call the Women's Studies Department. Did you ever want to be a camp counselor? Now you may have your chance. The Continuing Education Department is searching for instructors for its Summer Kids Camp 2006. The camp runs 7 week-long sessions through the months of June and July. The camp sessions are for ages 6 through 11. They begin in the morning at 9 and last until noon. However, the Teen Explorer Camp for ages 12 through 15 begin at 1 in the afternoon and last until 4. If you are interested in becoming a camp counselor or enrolling a child, contact the VSU Continuing Education Department. And the VSU Theater Arts Department performs the tragic play Antigone through Wednesday. Sophocles wrote the ancient Greek play in 411 BC. Showtimes are at 7:30 p.m. in Sawyer Theater, located in the Fine Arts Building. Admission is free to students with a VSU ID. For reservation information, call the VSU Theater box office. And that's what's happening this week at the university.
Thanks, Heather, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Danielle Harris.
And I'm Mindy Mitchell. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Hello, and welcome to News 11. I'm Jack Savage.
And I'm Sabrina Vasquez. Coming up, we'll update you on the latest on Amy's Law.
And we'll tell you about the status of abortions in the state. News 11 starts now.
Child murderers won't get off the hook that easy anymore. After the 2004 death of 8-year-old Amy Yates from Carrollton, the Georgia General Assembly has been pushing to increase penalties for child murderers. Yesterday, Amy's Law won final legislative approval. The law lets juvenile court judges sentence a child to serve jail time until the age of 21. The bill's sponsor, Senator Bill Hamrick, pointed out that the existing state law required harsher penalties on students caught with weapons at school than it did children under 13 who kill. Currently, a child who kills can be sentenced to a maximum of only 2 years.
40 million fetuses have aborted nationally in the past 33 years. Now some Georgia lawmakers are finding ways to make it harder to get an abortion in this state. News 11's Allison Phillips has more on the controversial topic.
The firestorm over abortion continues in the Georgia State House this week, with several different bills addressing the issue. The first would affect pharmacists, allowing them to give a written statement of their moral or religious objection to prescribing the morning after pill.
Well, as one, and I'm sure other pharmacists will appreciate that they now will have the option not to fill this prescription and will not come under. It also protects them as far as any litigation that would be brought against them for damages incurred by not filling this prescription. So I think that's a good thing to protect the pharmacists.
And protecting the pharmacists would be just the beginning, as this second bill in Georgia's legislature would require all abortion practitioners to allow women to be given an ultrasound and to have the opportunity to view the baby before making a choice on having an abortion. The sonogram is often referred to as the window to the womb. A local mother-to-be agrees as she describes her reactions to her first ultrasound.
The time that I saw the sonogram is very emotional. I cried just to actually know that there was life there. You know, to actually see the form of the baby and hear the heartbeat. It was a very emotional time.
The bill causing the greatest uprise is the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, which recognizes that when a criminal attacks a pregnant woman and injures or kills her unborn child, he has taken 2 victims.
These, again, are ways, I think, to try to backdoor ban abortion. I mean, if you can legally start to define a fetus at the 15th week as a life, or at the 10th week as a life, then, you know, by definition, by consequence, you're making it more difficult for a woman to have an abortion.
The recent South Dakota abortion law has sparked several other states to propose new abortion bills, filling many pro-lifers with hopes of the overturn of 33-year-old Roe v. Wade. The 3 abortion bills currently in the Georgia legislation have been passed by the Senate and are awaiting approval by the House. For News 11, I'm Allison Phillips.
Georgia Department of Labor Commissioner Michael Thurmond is denouncing the amnesty provision in the state immigrant bill. The provision would grant amnesty to undocumented illegal workers who were hired prior to the start of the 2007 fiscal year. Thurmond proposed a different version of the immigrant bill that was merged with the original last week, but on Monday the House Senate Conference Committee removed the proposal. Thurmond has urged the members of the General Assembly to reconsider his amended proposal. The original version of the state immigrant bill was passed by the Senate and is waiting on a vote from the House of Representatives.
The Georgia Department of Corrections is responding to Governor Sonny Perdue's request that state agencies hold meetings outside of Metro Atlanta by having its next set of meetings at the Southeastern Technical College in Tattnall County. The day-and-a-half event will include a senior management team meeting, law enforcement recruitment opportunities, public seminars, and prison tours. The DOC event is scheduled for April 13th and 14th in Glenville and will be the first for the newly appointed Director of Facilities, Derek Schofield. Georgia has the 5th largest Department of Corrections in the country.
The Georgia Department of Agriculture is investigating a pet store accused of selling puppies infected with a parasite. Out of 151 puppies located in 6 different pet stores in Atlanta, 138 tested positive for Giardia. Giardia is a parasite that can be transmitted between animals and humans. Agriculture Commissioner Tommy Irvin warns dog owners to be careful. It is not certain how many infected dogs have been sold. Irvin advises anyone who has bought a pet from a pet store since January to have it checked by a veterinarian. Symptoms of infection include diarrhea, stomach cramps, and nausea. The source of the outbreak is still unknown.
Believe it or not, parents need to start taking care of their children's teeth before their first tooth even grows in. A new study by the Center for Disease Control shows that the number of children with tooth decay is growing. More than 600,000 preschoolers nationwide are affected by tooth decay. That number has more than tripled over the past 10 years. The culprit is either an increase in sugary snacks or a decrease in oral care. Parents can help their kids by using a wet washcloth to clean an infant's gums. Also, parents should not allow their children to brush their teeth alone until the age of 7. If parents brush their children's teeth for them, less health care problems will arise.
Coming up, we'll tell you about the mother-son luau.
And Candace Hester will join us with events at VSU. Stay with us.
It wasn't all that long ago when soil choked the air, cities baked in the heat, and rivers ran out of control. When people went hungry because the crops had failed, when we neglect and abuse the land, the misery follows. What happens on the land, even land we'll never see, affects the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the food we eat. The Arbor Day Foundation reminds you that we need conservation trees. Conservation buffers stop polluted runoff and clean the water. Trees clear the air and help conserve energy. Let's make sure this never happens again. Visit the Arbor Day Foundation website, arborday.org, to find out how to plant and care for trees where you live, in town or in the country.
Plant a tree today for all the world to share.
Heather McLeod joins us now with more on the mother-son luau.
Thanks, Sabrina. Park Avenue Methodist Church hosted a luau where women could bring a very special date, their sons, and we were there to show you how they got down on the dance floor.
Happy feet scattered along the dance floor as mothers and sons danced the night away at the 5th annual Mother-Son Luau. Most of the families remained on the dance floor, but some of the kids snuck away to take advantage of none other than the snack table.
I had a couple of cookies, popcorn, chips, some of those chocolate-covered pretzels, and grapes.
Throughout the evening, the DJ kept the dance floor filled with energy by playing many fast-paced and group songs, but he also remembered to slow it down a bit. One first-time attendee who was escorted by her daughter and her grandson assured us that her first experience of the luau was a blast.
But I enjoyed looking at meeting new friends, watching the kids, playing, dancing with their parents and mothers.
After yelling "Who let the dogs out," throwing up the YMCA, and bending under the limbo stick, mothers cherished the focus of the evening.
It is nice to come out here and have a good time with your kids. And that's what it's all about, is have a good time with your sons.
The event was a huge success since more than 700 tickets were sold ahead of time and even more were sold at the door. The event grows as each year passes. Sabrina?
Thanks, Heather. The Valdosta State Police Department received 2 Segway human transporters for patrolling main campus. VSU officers Sean Lauderdale and Joshua Luke say the addition of the customized Segways and bikes allow the department to be more community-oriented and provide quicker response time through the pedestrian mall and on campus. The 2 battery-powered Segways HTs can navigate between 8 to 10 miles or about 10 hours per session. Both Segways were purchased through the Office of Business and Finance for approximately $3,000 each. The new retail price for a Segway is about $5,000 each.
The Office of Career Services and Cooperative Education is hosting its annual Spring Career Expo next Tuesday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the Magnolia and Cypress rooms at the University Center. The expo will give students the chance to meet with local businesses and discuss the career information, internships, co-op opportunities, and jobs. For a complete list of participating businesses, log on to the Career Services website through VSU's homepage.
Looking at the weather, March is ending on a warm note, but with cloudy skies. Tonight's low will be 54, with tomorrow looking to be partly cloudy with a high of 83 and a low of 58. Friday remains partly cloudy and stays warm with a high of 83 and a low of 57. Moving on to pollen. Levels remain high throughout the week, with most pollen stemming from oak, elm, and alder.
Candace Hester joins us in just a moment with events at VSU.
Stay with us.
Dee Dee, don't do this.
Walter, there's something calling me out there. I have to go find it.
Every weekend, millions of middle-aged adults head out the door to take on a new sport. Or pick up where they left off in a sport they haven't played in years. This is a good thing, but there could be a downside. New physical activities bring new stresses to bones, muscles, and joints. A good reason to take new sports one step at a time, with plenty of stretching and warming up. And remember, weekend warriors are flirting with danger. Your body does a better job avoiding injuries with a sensible fitness program you follow every day. Fitness is good, but exercise common sense. A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who remind you to get up, get out, and get moving.
I'm back.
Olé.
Candence Hester joins us now with University Events.
Thanks, Sabrina. The Women's Studies program, in partnership with the Southeastern Women's Studies Association, will present the 10th Annual Women's Studies Conference tomorrow through Saturday. Keynote speakers include best-selling authors Jennifer Baumgardner and Amy Richards. Also, VSU's writers-in-residence Janice Daltrey and Simona Hill will present readings. These events will take place at the University Center. Off-campus activities include a coffeehouse session at Julio's Restaurant and a jazz cookout at the Snake Nation Press. For more information, call the Women's Studies Department. The VSU Continuing Education Department is searching for instructors for its 2006 Summer Kids Camp. The camp runs 7-week-long sessions through June and July. The camp sessions for ages 6 through 11 begin in the morning at 9 and last until noon. And the Teen Explorer Camp for teenagers 12 through 15 begins at 1 in the afternoon and lasts until 4. If you're interested in becoming a camp instructor or enrolling a child, contact the VSU Continuing Education Department. The Valdosta Symphony Orchestra will perform No Foolin' Back to Broadway this Saturday at 8 p.m. in Whitehead Auditorium. VSO's collaboration of music for this performance includes famed Broadway melodies from the New York stage. For ticket information, contact the VSO box office. And that's what's coming up this week, Sabrina.
Thanks, Candence, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Sabrina Vasquez.
And I'm Jack Savage. We'll see you next week.
Hello and welcome to News 11. I'm Joy McCullough.
And I'm Kara Johnson. Coming up, we'll update you on why Delta airline pilots may be striking.
And we'll tell you about the tragic death of a Valdosta girl. News 11 starts now.
Delta may go on strike. In response to their management's effort to throw out their contract and impose deep pay cuts, Delta airline pilots voted to authorize a strike. Union leaders have the authority to set a strike date since there was a nearly 95% vote in favor of a walkout. An arbitration panel has until April 15th to decide whether to void the pilot's contract. The union will strike if its contract is rejected. Delta Airlines is the nation's third largest carrier, but a strike may put it out of business.
The Amy Yates case that ended up changing Georgia's law on sentencing juveniles who kill is right back where it started. A Carroll County juvenile court judge ruled yesterday that he will void a guilty plea by the mentally challenged 12-year-old murderer of Amy Yates. The boy is now serving a sentence for the 2004 murder. The boy, whose name is not yet being released, confessed to the murder of Amy Yates in February. He will not be released immediately, but the prosecutors must now decide whether to pursue charges in the case.
A 2-year-old girl has died after swallowing her mother's crack cocaine. Latoya Dixon of Azalea has been charged with possession of cocaine, cruelty to children, and contributing to the death of a minor. Dixon took her daughter to the Meadows Regional Medical Center on Saturday. After experiencing complications, the 2-year-old girl was airlifted to a medical facility in Augusta, but she died en route to the hospital.
This week, the final result of a 2-year top-secret project arrives in convenience and grocery stores. The Georgia-based Coca Cola Company is unveiling a new drink called Coca Cola Blak. Coke calls it a coffee and cola fusion in a dark glass bottle with gold lettering. Coke is hoping the drink will appeal to the over 30 crowd as an energy booster. The regular price for a single 8-ounce Coca Cola Blak is close to $2, and the 6-pack is about $6.50. The price of the drink is significantly more than the retail price of other soft drinks.
Governor Sonny Perdue has signed 2 bills aimed at making it harder for the government to seize private property. One bill sets up a constitutional amendment for voters to decide at the ballot box. That measure would take the power of eminent domain away from unelected housing and development authorities, requiring elected officials to make the decision to take property. The second bill bans the use of eminent domain for economic development or to boost tax revenues.
In other state government news, Georgia Senator Saxby Chambliss proposed an amendment to the federal immigration bill that would remove the amnesty clause from the agricultural section. The original version that was passed by the Senate Judiciary Committee allows illegal workers an easier route to permanent resident status after a 2-year work period. The Chambliss amendment would mandate that workers return to their home countries and begin legal entry process again.
The Louvre Museum and Atlanta's High Museum of Art have joined together for a 3-year partnership. The Louvre will embrace all things American by mounting an exhibit of New World painters, featuring Arthur Toni Morrison for 3 weeks and loaning hundreds of treasures to the High Museum. The partnership length is groundbreaking because most exchanges last only a few months. High Museum Director Michael Chapario said they conceived the project to imagine a deeper kind of partnership based on trust and friendship. The first show starts in October.
The VSU College of Education has officially been named the James L. and Dorothy H. Dewar College of Education. VSU President Ronald Zachary welcomed invited guests, faculty, staff, and students to the dedication ceremony honoring the Dewar family. James Dewar Jr. spoke on behalf of his parents and Park Avenue Bank just before the sign was unveiled for the first time. VSU chose to name the College of Education after them in appreciation of their continued support of VSU and for their monetary donation of $2 million. The donation is one of the largest gifts ever received by VSU. The Dewars both have background in teaching, and James Dewar moved on to become the superintendent of Lowndes County School System for 12 years, and he founded the Park Avenue Bank.
Coming up, we'll tell you about the sewage problem in Haharia.
And Nadejna Sasina will join us with events going on at VSU. Stay with us.
Immerse yourself in another culture and another way of life. Experience everything life has to offer you. Embark on your own course of adventure as part of a summer study program in London, Paris, Italy, or Russia. Studying abroad is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The memories and friendships gained will be a life-changing experience. Savor the moments and culture. Discover the world around you. Be part of a summer study program in London, Paris, Italy, or Russia. For more information about summer study programs abroad, please contact the Center for International Programs at 333-7410.
Haharia residents are just about up to their knees in sewage, at least those who live in the southwest end. The Haharia City Council will submit a community development block grant. If approved, the estimated $300,000 grant will go towards helping the sewage overflow in the southwest end and overall community of Haharia. The recent heavy rainfall has caused occasional sewage overflow. Haharia's grant will go up against the other communities' grants proposed and will be decided in mid-August.
On March 24th, the Georgia's Mothers Against Drunk Driving held their second annual event for police departments in Macon. The Remerton Police Department received the DUI Hero Agency Award, an overall award which is given to the department that has the most DUI arrests with less than 10 officers. Nathan Atkins of the Remerton Department received the DUI Hero Officer of the Year Award, given to the officer making the most DUI arrests in a department with fewer than 10 officers. The annual event recognizes the hard work of state police departments that saves lives by pursuing drunk drivers.
Students filled the UC at VSU yesterday in hopes of meeting future employers at the Spring Career Expo. Almost 50 businesses from Georgia and Florida attended to share full-time, part-time, and co-op and internship opportunities with their companies. The employers were looking for students from many areas of study such as criminal justice, healthcare, marketing, and accounting. Some employers who attended were Wells Fargo, Walgreens, and Kraft. If you missed the Career Expo and are in need of a job, then visit Career Services to search their up-to-date job listings of employers who are recruiting recent college graduates.
A judge has dismissed the case of an Athens woman accused of sporting an obscene bumper sticker that contained a dig at President Bush. 47-year-old Denise Grier received a $100 ticket recently after a police officer spotted the sticker containing vulgar language. Grier was cited for violating a state law prohibiting lewd or profane stickers and decals on vehicles. Chief Judge R. Roy Walker of the DeKalb County Recorder's Court said the lewd decal law was ruled unconstitutional in 1990. Grier contested the fine, saying the bumper sticker was simply a political statement.
Some of the best young tennis players aged 8 to 18 competed in a 4-day tournament at VSU. The United States Tennis Association chose the VSU Tennis courts as the site for its annual tournament. The players obtained points throughout the season for every match that they won. The top 300 competitors came to battle in singles and doubles matches to ultimately reveal the top players for each of the 14 age brackets. The tournament director's daughter, Mary Beth Hansen, said she was pleased to see some of the best players in the nation show up to take advantage of her father's hard work and preparation for the tournament.
Looking at the weather, spring has sprung, with the first week in April bringing very warm weather. Tonight's low gets down to 49, but tomorrow we're looking at a high of 84 and a low of 56. Friday is even warmer with a high around 87 and a low of 64. Turning to pollen, as temperatures rise, so do pollen levels. Most pollen is stemming from oak, birch, and sweet gum.
Nadezhda Sasina will join us in just a moment with a look at events coming up to VSU.
Stay with us.
Noise. There's more of it in your life than you think.
Cloudy skies with flurries today.
Everyday sounds from household appliances to traffic. Even a crowded restaurant can hit 85 decibels.
Stick it in, it's creamy.
Audiologists know that 85 decibels day after day can cause permanent hearing loss. However the rest of your day is going, keep an eye on your ears. For more on protecting your hearing, visit ASHA.org, the American Speech Language Hearing Association.
Nadezhda Sasnina joins us now with university events.
Thanks, Kara. In 2 weeks, on April 20th, the VSU Repertory Dancers will perform a concert celebrating their 20th anniversary. The concert will be held in the Story Theater at 7:30. For more information about the concert, contact the Fine Arts Department. VSU's 2006 Science Seminar Series continues tomorrow on April 6th with a new lecture on the subject of nuclear cardiac imaging. This process is a cardiac diagnostic test using radioactive materials to give doctors a wide variety of information on a patient. Dr. Bernard A. Mayer from the Department of Mathematics at the University of Florida will give the guest lecture. It will be at the Hugh C. Bailey Science Center and is free and open to the public. The local band Skeneadel is playing at the Red Carpet concert this Friday. Lowndes County will host 43 international and out-of-state guests at the Red Carpet Tour in hopes of them relocating and expanding their business in Georgia. Downtown restaurants, including Hildegard's, Lulu's, Truffles, and La Rose, will sell lunches at the event from 11:30 to 1:30, while Skeneadel plays an eclectic mix of music on the Lowndes County Courthouse lawn. And that's what's coming up this week on campus. Kara?
Thanks, Nadishda, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Kara Johnson.
And I'm Joy McCullough. We'll see you on Monday.